Carrish and Cross.
Ian to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, Peter Wright against Darren Johnson, the first match of the evening session. Johnson, another of the qualifiers to come through. Michael Smith against Rob Cross. Magnus Carrish against Mencio Sulovic.
Yeah, sorry, I'll just correct that, actually. You could have four quarterfinals with an unseeded player in them.
Yeah, Johnson, Cross and Carrish already through.
100.
Wilson looking to join them. Peter Wright strengthening his status as tournament favourites, I imagine, given the way things are shaping up. Mencio Sulovic, number 2 seed, still here as well, but let's focus on the here and now. It's White with the advantage of throwing first and seemingly making the most of that so far, at least, anyway.
60.
But Wilson may have the record as far as the heads-to-heads are concerned, but let's not forget that Ian White is one of only 2 players to have beaten Van Gerwen on the European Tour this year. His run to the semis in Saarbrücken last month included a 6-1 win over the world #1 and the world champion. That was in the quarter-finals. His best performance on the European circuit since his run to the last 4 here in Gibraltar 12 months ago. Lost to Chizzy 6-0 in the semi-finals that day.
Yeah, former European Tour finalist as well, Ian White. Although James Wilson hoping to make it a doubly good day for Huddersfield. Peter Jakes also comes from the West Yorkshire town, has won his first challenge to a tournament today. A 5-4 win against the Wolverhampton Wanderer Wayne Jones in Milton Keynes. But here in Gibraltar, it's Ian White looking at 64 to take the first leg and try and stop the Huddersfield charge.
Something you could embellish as well with news elsewhere, but we'll steer clear of that.
Yeah, it's only half time in the football.
It's a game of 4 halves, these playoffs, isn't it?
100.
Certainly is, and it's almost
60.
halfway through this Sunday here in Gibraltar. Ian White looking at double eights to book his place in the final session with a win here.
Getting short the first leg, Ian White.
First blow to
throw first.
Ian White. Seeded 11 here this weekend. Number 13 on the order of merit.
140.
Wilson ranked 35 in the world at this moment.
He has 7 PDC titles to his name. Ian White, certainly one of the top players on the Pro Tour circuit.
85.
James Wilson did reach a Players' Championship final, his only final in the PDC. Lost out to Michael Van Gerwen last September.
100.
But reached many finals and won plenty of titles as well in the BDO, picking up 5 titles between 2012 and 2014 before making the switch.
140.
He's back. Always gets a ticket, that monkey. Every day he's here.
$100.
Well, Wilson's left a large finish, which he
60.
doesn't have to clean up at this visit, so it's
161.
poised to be level after 2 legs.
$60.
The other feature of Wilson's campaign so far this weekend has been his finishing. We've mentioned it, well, more than a few times already this weekend, but the number of missed doubles has been worth commenting on, shall we say. But Wilson, 6 out of 10 in his win over Dylan Duo in the first round. That was the best percentage of the day by some distance, and he was 6 from 10 yesterday against Kim Huybrechts as well. So Wilson shouldn't be bracketed in that conversation about poor finishing this weekend. It's been very good indeed from him so far.
65.
Although he was never really under any pressure against Dylan Duo, by the way. Duo's average was 71.6. It was by far and away the lowest average of the first day's play.
Well, White with a chance to snatch this leg. Double top to do just that. And he has. And that's got to hurt James Wilson. 1-1-6 out for Ian White.
Third leg, Ian.
And we talked about James Wilson's decent spell of form at the back end of 2016, but he's not been able to replicate it so far in 2017. In fact, this matches his best run in any tournament.
Yeah, he got beat in the first round of the most recent European Tour event. That was in Sindelfingen last weekend. He lost to Jan Dekker in his only match there. Didn't qualify for the first 3 Euro Tour events of this year, or indeed the last one of last year as well. Made the quarterfinals of the European Championship in Hasselt. Was a semi-finalist on the Euro Tour last year as well in Riesa. But as you say, he had a terrific late summer, didn't he, in 2016?
57.
Yeah, he certainly did. That included that Pro Tour final, but he went through a spell where he was just reaching quarterfinals at least in nearly every tournament he played.
Yeah, back-to-back semis in the Players' Championship in August as well.
In contrast, this year, Ian White has reached the quarterfinals of PDC tournaments 6 times already, looking to make it 7. Managed to convert 1 into a semi-final as well by virtue of that victory you mentioned earlier against Michael van Gerwen. Although he bowed out the hands
60.
of Benito van der Pas in Saarbrücken, who came closest to breaking the MVG Snakebite dynasty on the European Tour this year. However, his chances have ended today.
Yeah, it's found his way in.
140.
Oh no, it hasn't. My eyes deceived me there.
Well, I think the crowd thought it had as well. George Noble checked. Just the 140. Just getting down to a finish, but he was in this position in the last leg.
Injury 161.
Ended up losing it.
Yeah, similar setup really here in this third leg.
97.
White will just look to post as big a score as possible, but that will not do him any favours whatsoever. Oh dear.
45.
Needed a treble, but not that one.
64.
64 for Wilson to get this game back on throw and halve the deficit. Another one. The double thereof. And there it is.
In the third leg, James Wilson.
Yeah, nicely done. Needed that one as well.
Fourth leg, James to throw first. Game on.
As you say, just to get himself back on track and back in the running here.
A good response from the Jammie Dodger, who's looking to
81.
significantly improve his year with a run here. And it, as we said, it is opening up this draw, although it's still the very real prospect of another final between the top 2 seeds.
Yeah.
100.
That would be Peter Wright and Mensur Suljevic. Wright becoming an odds-on favourite to win this crown now.
Yeah, so often the cream does manage to rise to the top, and it could well happen once again here this weekend. For all the
100.
potential stories in the making surrounding the likes of Magnus Carris and Rob Cross and Darren Johnson, it could well be that we do have the top 2 dogs going for the big prize later on this evening. Peter Wright looking to extend his advantage at the top of the European Tour order of merits.
140.
And we're actually going to see the number 3 seed after this match as well. The winner of this will take on the winner of our final match. Number 3 seed is Aussie ace Simon Whitlock.
100.
So he will have to get past Daryl Gurney.
Yeah, the beard to be feared against the Super Chin, which is an appropriate meeting to round things off on this afternoon session on day 3 here in Gib.
Certainly is. Wonder if Gurney could sport a
26.
Simon Whitlock style beard to hide the sizable chin at some point. Sorry, Daryl, if you're watching. Sure he's not, practicing away, ready for their contest. With interest, perhaps, in this one as well.
55.
Both were in decent fettle yesterday. 170 from Gurney, 164 from Whitlock. Could be special.
Yeah, it's certainly one of the matches that I underlined earlier as a one to watch out for. Won't be commentating on it, but I'll be hanging around just to keep an eye on that one, because I think it does have all the hallmarks of a potential decent encounter.
134 in uniform 95.
Vandenberg, Michael Smith served up a real treat earlier today. 6-5, Smith came through in that one.
Well, 25 has left him a shot. Bullseye now. How we'll have to move across the ocket to find a clear route.
70.
Well, it wasn't far away.
Oohs and ahs in the crowd.
31.
1 or 2 from Ian White as well, but Wilson here, 31 to level the match at 2 apiece. Double 8 then. No bother whatsoever. Nothing jammy about that from the Jammie Dodger. That was taken out very cleanly indeed.
Just stopped Ian White in his tracks here. Looked for the first couple of legs that he might just run away with it. But Wilson having none of it. White, of course, was handed a tricky
56.
second round draw at the European Darts Grand Prix, pitted against fellow Stoke-on-Trent lad Adrian Lewis. It's unfortunate these likes of Lewis and Van Barneveld come through the qualifiers, not seeded, and then a player who's got himself into the seedings ends up playing a higher ranked player.
Yeah.
100.
Well, Ian White, even though he found himself 2 legs to the good early on, will have always been well aware that Wilson's a very capable player as far as fighting back is concerned. He's quite a dogged player, is Wilson, at times. He can be very resilient and he'll dig in, and that's exactly what he's done. So it will have come as no surprise that Wilson has managed to claw his way back to parity
100.
here. But it's just about now which player can just find or make the most of any opportunity that comes along. White still has to make the most of the advantage of throwing first, if you
92.
see what I mean, but can't afford to get too bogged down.
Well, he's handed a chance here to James Wilson, who has found a treble. In fact, he's found 2, and it's a real opportunity now for him to turn this match completely on its head.
Yep, indeed. And this is what I was talking about, Ian White getting bogged down and maybe distracted by the fact that Wilson all of a sudden is threatening to overtake him here, but that's a terrific recovery by Ian White. It gets him down to a very manageable finish of 50, but Wilson might not give him the opportunity, and he's just beginning to threaten to build up a bit of momentum here as James Wilson. That's a lovely first start as well, so 45 away, so double 16 he wants for a 3-2 lead. Not sure how close that dart in the 13 bed was close to going astray, but anyway, he got away with it.
Well, it didn't knock him out of his stride, did it? 105 check out to follow the 64 from earlier on. Decent finishing in this one. Ian White has had a 116 as well. In fact, James Wilson
140
is yet to miss a dart at double.
Yeah, 3 from 3 so far for Wilson.
43.
Klassen yesterday was 3 from 4 in his defeat by Karras. So it was the best percentage, I think, of the weekend, but it did come in a defeat. So read into that what you will, but nothing wrong with Wilson's finishing so far. When he's got himself into position, he's been very, very ruthless indeed.
He's a long way ahead in this leg already as well. Real
100
table turner, and we really do have the prospect of 4 quarterfinals where we're going to have a seed against the non-seed. Wright against Johnson,
96.
Smith against Cross, Suljevic against Karras, and then the winner of this against Whitlock or Gurney. And if James Wilson does win 3 more legs, it will be 4 unseeded players, 4 qualifiers in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, Wilson here definitely underlining his status as the best finisher of the weekend so far. 6 from 10 in his first 2 matches, 3 from 3 so far today as well.
Well, that's what it's all about, and he's going to give himself another chance. He's left the double we saw Suljevic hit to win his last 16 encounter against Cristo Reyes. White applying the pressure.
Oh, applying a lot of pressure, so there's a lot riding on this now, but if Wilson can make this 4 from 4 on the doubles, he will have a 4-2 lead. Steely focus inside the wire. It's the first one he's missed. It might not matter if he cleans up at this visit. And that's all he's bothered about. It's all about taking out the doubles on your visits. He won't be too concerned about percentages. That is another step in the right direction for James Wilson. It's really good stuff now.
60.
Well, yeah, as long as you don't give your opponent a shot, it doesn't matter if it goes in first dart or third dart, does it?
$100.
Trailed 2-0 in this one, James Wilson. He's turned it around. Now it's Ian White who needs to try and inspire some kind of comeback in himself.
But Wilson is going toe-to-toe here on the White throw again.
100.
Okay, if the break happens again, all well and good, but he knows that if he can hold his next 2 throws, then he's there. He's through to another quarter-final on the European Tour.
White's just finding a bit of a range here.
125.
The last start may have deflected. Hit his first 180, the first 180 of this match.
Yeah, it could make a bit of a difference, that. It's a potential game changer as far as this leg goes.
93.
Well, only 93 from Wilson, so he's got away with it to an extent there as White.
Yeah, it would have been on a finish had he landed it in the 20. But he is landing in the treble 20 quite often over the last couple of legs. And he gets himself down to double top. So just not going to let James Wilson run away with it, although he will apply some pressure on this double top.
140, and you require 40.
Well, this has to go, you feel. And it has gone. He's, importantly, well, not just won a leg, but he's actually stopped the flow of Wilson legs there. 4 on the spin he managed to put together. And okay, he's still a breakdown, but it's a timely response from Ian White. That's all he could do there and then.
Yeah, it is. Intriguing contest we have on our hands now. Wilson needing a couple of legs. White wants to get to 3.
97.
Before Wilson gets to those 2. Two real solid players, aren't they? I think that's a good way to describe this pair. Nothing much changes in the technique, in the demeanour. Just go up there, get on with the darts. There's not much, apart from the diamond dab and the conducting the crowd to cheer up Sleepy Jean from James Wilson. It all happens before the game. Once the referee says game on, it's very much business, isn't it?
$140.
Well, that was a decent visit from Ian White, but James Wilson still has the advantage in this leg. Well, I was about to say just one treble will get him down to a 2-darter, but he's found the wrong side of the treble 20 bed, and all of a sudden he has handed a chance here to Ian White.
$59.
No treble in the visit, but a more manageable finish in front of him than this one from James Wilson, which requires 2 trebles. However, if he gets them, he may well go on into the double, because he has been hitting doubles all weekend.
There we go, he has found 2 trebles. What about this, James Wilson?
139.
Terrific attempt.
120.
That would have been a massive dagger in the heart of Ian White had that found its way into the double 19 bed. As it is, White will not be finishing here.
I was surprised he didn't step across there in the first start. Looked to be a bit of a blocker. I've seen some players when that occurs to take aim at 2 bullseyes. Ian White not so much of a showman in that respect, but it might have been a wise shot, because Wilson now is 1 leg away from the checkered flag.
Yeah, Yeah, hold a throw for a 5-3 lead. Ian White needs to win the next 3 legs, otherwise he is out of the Gibraltar Darts Trophy for 2017. And James Wilson can start preparing for another Euro Tour quarter-final. Made the semis in Riesa last year.
92.
Losing to Mensur Suljovic, could well meet Suljovic again later this evening. That will all be determined in due course. Here and now, Wilson has to focus on
60.
finishing this job off. And he might have an opportunity here to just steal the darts in this leg. Maybe not here.
60.
Well,
he looks a bit surprised himself that he hadn't managed to find a treble in that visit. Bit of a wide from White.
81.
Good recovery in the last start, but still a chance for Wilson to perhaps even finish the job in this leg. And he's making a move.
140.
Well, he has to hit a treble. Got to stay there. It's awkward, that first start lie
60.
again, and it proved to be so. And now James Wilson could be a couple of visits away from a place in the quarterfinals of a European Tour event for the first time this year.
60.
Maybe just both starting to feel the importance of this.
well, 2 breaks to 1. That 105 checkout in the 5th leg could well prove the difference between these two. Wilson will just look to set this up as best he can, and he couldn't really have done too much more there, to be perfectly honest. Ian White, this has simply got no margin for error whatsoever. He went for tops, and he's found the 5-5 instead.
And that
well.
Could be that for Ian White. James Wilson trailed 2-0 at the start of this match, then rattled off
48.
4 consecutive legs. That seems to be where the damage was done for Ian White. And Wilson steps forward to book his place in the last day and to be the 4th non-seed to do so.
James Wilson, this is your moment, and it's a moment that he seizes with both hands, and a shake of hands at the end of what has been a really good tussle. But ultimately, 3 breaks to 1, the difference between the two. James Wilson just building up that head of steam to establish a 4-2 lead, and in all honesty, Ian White never really recovered from that. The 105 checkout in the 5th leg, looking back, may well have been a turning point as well, but Wilson still had to finish the job in hand, and he did it in style as well.